You can't fall in love if you don't allow yourself to be manipulated sometimes. Yeah, you know that they are going to lie. You know it is a lie, but then you allow it because that's just how it is.
So what do you have to say to the people?
Why do you have to fall in love when you know you've seen an end to it? Like, why do you have to be in a relationship when you already know how it's going to end? Why don't you go into a relationship vulnerable? And if it ends, it ends. Why do you have to go into a relationship playing games? Why do you have to go into a relationship without you being 100% honest? So if it ends, then it's cool. People are going to talk anyways. You are going to hurt anyways. So why don't you love and love wholeheartedly without thinking about the end in sight? That's what I want people to know.
Okay, so what do you think that makes people hold back on loving wholly?
So I think, first of all, I'll be honest and I'll say social media. You know, we come online, we pick up your phone, there's somebody telling you how to go into a relationship online, telling you how to fall in love. And then people go have relationship issue. They check Instagram. My girlfriend is acting up. And then the algorithm start telling you leave them, telling you how to act, telling you what a perfect relationship should be like. And then the thought process starts to, pile up in your mind. The idea that you have options also is also part of the reason why, there will always be 5 or 10 people waiting for you anyway. So why not wrap it up with this one and go to the next one? Nobody is fighting anymore. We give up so easily compared to before when you actually want to pass time with this person. But now it's like, okay, I'll just go to the next person anyways. But we can't continue to live that way every time. So why not just put up a fight with that particular person you're with now? And maybe you guys might just have forever to yourself. Why does it have to end? So that's where I have that thought process.
So based on what you've just said, how do you think people should approach um, meeting people to date? Because there's a whole rise of dating apps and there's social media. Because one of the things that creates these options is when they see those options. So how would you advise people to go about the dating process, meeting people? Should people be talking to multiple people at the same time, or should it be a thing where you just see a spark with one person, you just hold on to it and run with it? Like, how would you advise people if you had to just give your thoughts on how people should approach the dating pool?
So yeah, so I think one thing people miss also that even in talking stage, there's loyalty. You could talk to 5 people at the same time, but you're aware that there's that one person that you actually like. But then people spend time, you talk to 3 people at the same time. I always say something. It's impossible to give yourself away if there's nothing to give. So if you've not healed from a previous hurt, you can't give yourself to someone else. So how do you approach relationships now? You already know what you want in a person. So nobody can tick all your boxes. We are all bags of traumas. We all grew up, we all have different upbringings. We did not grow up the same. So nobody is going to be perfect. But I think now people are looking for perfections. Like people want someone that is perfect. People, you can't fall in love if you don't allow yourself to be manipulated sometimes. Yeah, you know that they are going to lie. You know it is a lie, but then you allow it because that's just how it is. So, and in the sense that I know that it might be taken out of context, and that is the fact that when I mean manipulated is you go into a relationship with somebody, they have the traumas that they bring in. You can't fix the person in one day. And if you go into a relationship trying to be a fixer, it's going to end. But you should learn to grow, learn to tolerate each other. But then how do you meet people? People meet people in different places. It could be in a church, it could be on social media, it could be anywhere. But when you find that person that is your person, just try as much as possible to fight for it. Then if it gets to a point where it ends, then it's okay. Let it end. At least that way you know you've given everything to that. And then, so you know why I say this is that because sometimes you could sit down, you could think, and you could be like, okay, maybe if I had done this, maybe he would have stayed. Maybe if I had done this, she would have stayed. But what if you knew that you did everything and the person still didn't stay? Then you get to move on easily. But when you know that you were giving half love, you could pick up the phone and and call the person when you wanted to call the person. But then you're like, but you're holding back because you feel like, oh, maybe I've been calling her too much and I'm disturbing her now. Let me let her breathe. But are you not hurting yourself that way? So just love anyways, and if it ends, it ends. That's just my thoughts.
Did you always have this experience? And if not, at what point did you start having this thought process? Or what kind of experience shaped this thought process?
Yeah, so I thought I think I think one very important factor is I was lucky enough to start dating early, been in a relationship since when I was a teenager. So I think that over time, going up over time, after school, I got into a relationship, and then I think that was the moment where it's kind of like switched for me. I moved from now dating to, without an end in sight. Like, you're just dating. You're not thinking about the intention of, okay, maybe I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, to now being an adult who is going into a relationship and knowing that, okay, I want to spend my life with this person, because everybody I date, I always see like, okay, I want to spend my life with this person. And then I realized that the relationship literally shaped me, because I learned from it. And talking to different girls around, even after it ended, I realized that, everybody is just, trying to, nobody wants to be hurt. And then people do this thing where they say, okay, I know you are going to break up with me, so I'll break up with you immediately, rather than, having to talk about it. So I said, I think, yeah, so yeah, that relationship really shaped my thought process, because I learned a lot from it. And I realized that I've been approaching relationship wrongly, because I felt I didn't give everything to it at that time. But then I learned from that, and then I made better decisions.
All right. So if this was the last time that someone will come across your video or come across you or come across your voice at any point in time, if this is the last time that the person would see you, what would you have to say to that person about love and relationships?
What I'll tell the person is, just fall in love. What if it ends? So who cares? I mean, nobody's getting out of this world alive anyways. So why do you have to love? What's the have big love for? You are missing on so much. When you love somebody, you don't care about every other thing, and that's how it's supposed to be. We are humans. We are not meant to live life alone. So fall in love, be happy, go on that date, spend time with your favorite person, and then if it ends, do it again. You are no man being after all, and that's what life is all about. You fall, you stand up, you fall, you stand up, you fall, you stand up. But one day you'll stop falling, and that day, and I'm rooting for you to find that person, so you stop falling.